Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad to hear this morning. Got a great show lineup with some special guests here in the studio. But first, our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin and Highway 7 and 7. Only have 11-degree variance, a high of 88 and a low of 77. Water temperature staying around 86 degrees, dropping down probably 85 by tomorrow, they're thinking. Let's take a look at our river reading. The Apalachicola is reading at 2.8, right at 3 foot. Looking good on Apalachicola, and the Choctawhatchee is right behind it at a 2.6, and not a lot of movement in either one of the river systems, though. Both rivers looking good. Now, this rain we've been having might move that Choctawhatchee up. We'll know more about that on tomorrow's reading. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent, Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery. Flat out, flat tides. We're in neap tides all week long. Looking on Wednesday there, not much movement at all. Okay, let's take a look at our marine forecast. Be south-southwest at about 5 to 10. All right, that'll take care of our weather. Our rain's still around, and hopefully it'll be moving on out by the weekend. All right, let's take a break. I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Check out these two guys. Ken?
Good morning.
Good morning, Stan.
Good morning. Good morning, Winston. Good to see you.
Well, look, we really, first time I've had them on together, you know, they've been regulars of our show since the beginning, and glad to have you all back.
Glad to be back.
And they're not coming in the capacity of the FWC because they are retired.
Yep.
But busy.
There you go.
Almost 4 months for me.
All right, so let's tell the folks real quick what y'all been doing all this spare time y'all got.
Well, for me, trying to mix recreation with working around the house and getting caught up, you know, with car repairs, a lot of painting, yard work, tree trimming, redecorating the living room, you know, all that kind of stuff. And then haven't done a whole lot of fishing. I have done some flounder fishing. And but most recently, last weekend, I went to the Buckmasters Expo in Montgomery for the first time, and that was the 22nd annual Buckmasters Expo since it was founded, I believe, in 1987. I talked to Jackie Bushman, actually.
Cool.
And always wanted to go, never had a chance to go, so I did go and had a great time. It's worth going to. It's free. Basically, I mean, you can get in with a can of food or something like that, and a lot of the latest and greatest hunting and outdoor equipment and supplies, and it was really it was a nice weekend.
That's great. All right, Stan, what about you?
Well, some of the same things Ken talked about, just trying to catch up with projects around the house. I've gotten my boat. I had my fishing boat. I had to basically do a bunch of work on it. So I've got my fishing boat up and running, everything fixed on it. So, you know, it's a brim fishing boat. So I've got it fixed, and like Ken said, I've done some projects around the house and taking off wallpaper and stuff like that, and it doesn't take long to get caught up on that. As a friend told me, you're better off selling your house and moving if you got to do that. But I did draw the line when turkey season came. I just basically quit all my projects and tried to hunt, and I fished some, and thankfully I got good friends that you know that reach out to me, and I go with them a lot. So anyway, just enjoying being retired. I do miss, and I'm sure you know, like anybody that retires, you miss being part of the agency and all. But you know, it's good to see new people in there, and the agency's doing well.
Well, really, I keep up with y'all a good bit, and all y'all. I've been able to do a lot of fun things too.
Oh yeah.
And you sort of somehow got together on a project. And,
we did. We did, and I guess that's most of the purpose and reason why we're here is we got together with a representative from National Wild Turkey Federation a couple of months ago, and we're in the process of, or I guess, and have started a Bay County chapter of the National Wild Turkey Federation. And along with that, we're planning a banquet. And for those of you who have been to them before, either a Ducks Unlimited banquet or an NRA or a National Wild Turkey Federation banquet, it's a nice event, a lot of nice prizes. But anyway, and part of forming the chapter, there was a chapter here in Panama City years ago, and we understand, and it kind of dissolved or went away. And so we're trying to resurrect a chapter here because there's chapters all over the country and all over the state of Florida. And so our first stab at trying to form a chapter was Stan and I got together and are the representatives of the chapter. And our banquet is August 28th
Okay.
at 6
So
o'clock.
y'all met with them and it's all set up. And
Yeah, we've got a person, a director from the National Wild Turkey Federation that's kind of walking us through this. Ken and I are we're neophytes when it comes to this, so but the chapter, we're up and running. We've got roughly 70. We believe right now we've got about 70 tickets sold, and our goal was 100. So if there's anybody that would like to attend, they can get a hold of one of us. We prefer to sell tickets in advance so we know how many people we're going to have there. But we've got a very nice silent auction and live auction package there. Things from everything from like a real nice sportsman's duffel bag set. There's a flatware set for the ladies if they want a really nice flatware set that comes courtesy of the National Wild Turkey Federation. Things like artwork and things like that.
There'll be guns.
Guns, firearms, right? So
specials.
they'll be auctioned as well.
it's a combination of silent auction and auctioneer and
It
all
is,
that. And
right.
One of you guys going to be doing auctioning, or something? Be one of their
They're
guys?
bringing in an auctioneer for
They'll
us.
have one of their guys.
Yeah. It's they're going to have a sound system, and there'll be a person at the door selling tickets. If they want to come to the door, the only problem with coming to the door, it's not really a problem, but it doesn't help us plan meals because the head count on the front end is a lot easier for our caterer to know how many meals to plan. But he'll have extra. So
If I did the auction, we'd be there till after midnight. So we need somebody that can keep this thing going.
Sell them sold over there.
Yeah, there we go.
Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Seeing two familiar faces for Panhandle Outdoors, Ken and Stan, and always glad to have them. But they're here with the National Wild Turkey Federation. Big banquet coming up not this Friday, but the following Friday. We're just glad to have y'all on. You get a lot of help with sponsors, don't you?
we have. We're trying to get what they call a gun table or a shooter's table, which it's $1,000 table. But we've had 4 sponsors that purchased tables so far. But as part of the sponsor membership in the shooter's table, they get their choice of a gun and or a Yeti cooler, and that's automatic. So they get 8 memberships. They get a sponsor membership and 7 regular ones. Their meals are covered. They get their choice of an American Rifle 308. There's a Savage 17 HMR and
A Yeti cooler.
or a Yeti cooler. So that comes automatically with the tables. They'll get their own table. The tables will be identified.
Yeah.
And so far we've got 4.
We've got, we appreciate the sponsors that are helping us. Mr. Gaynor with Bay Cars, he's one of our sponsors doing a shooter's table, what we call that. Preble Rish out of, Mr. Ralph Rish out of Gulf County. Culligan, Jay Trumbull and his family are also sponsoring, and C&G Sporting Goods, Ronnie Groom. They're sponsoring. So we really appreciate these people, and we couldn't do it without them.
That's 4 good sponsors, but
Right.
it's not. I mean, they're getting a lot out of this. They're getting some good
It's
stuff.
a great
So
deal
it's-
if you
that's
agree
good.
to sponsor.
Yeah, we'll get 8 people at your table. That sounds real good.
If somebody wants to just come and eat with us, the meals are $20 a plate. It also allows them to participate in the auctions. We have to obviously pay our venue and our caterer, so the plates are $20. For $55, we can do a meal and an annual membership to NWTF, which memberships are $35. So for $55, they can get a meal and a membership. There's a Jake's, for kids under 17, a Jake's membership. That'll come with a meal. There's and we have a assortment of sponsor levels and memberships.
Yeah. What Stan, we're talking about this money that goes in the association and all, but that money is well spent across our country. What are some of the things?
Exactly. The money that's raised in each of the banquets, heritage banquets as they call them, wild turkey banquets, it goes back to the state. Most of it goes back to the state of Florida, and it goes in each individual state. There's almost over $900,000 that is and it's part of it is matched by FWC. There's a match that's done, but over $900,000 is spent here in the state of Florida on projects. Primarily restoration, land restoration, wildlife management. Because if you don't have the habitat for turkeys, you're not going to have turkeys. So that's one of the things that's done. Also for recruitment, retention of hunters, and other things. But that money is well spent here. It's spent primarily on public land where people can have access, to public property. But
that's good. That's really good stuff.
It is.
You're talking about all the good prizes and all that'll be given. I mean, you can. That's some
We
good
have
stuff.
a banquet package that NWTF brings, and actually Stan and I unloaded the truck the other day, and there was like 24 boxes.
Y'all thought it was Christmas time, didn't you?
Yeah, we had to put them
It
in.
just didn't have our name on it.
But if anybody's interested in seeing what will be available, you can go to nwtf.com, and there's a 2015 banquet package, where these packages go to all the banquets across, so everything can be looked at. You can see the value of them. On the paintings and the prints, you can see how many were made. In addition to the guns, I understand were on there too. So what we failed to mention so far is where it's going to be held at.
Yeah, we got this poster here we were showing. It's going to be, go ahead and tell folks.
First United Methodist Church downtown. I believe it's where they've had the wild game banquets before.
They're on 4th Street,
Right there on 4th Street.
Yeah. And it's a big gymnasium. We're going to have it set up and decorated with our tables. We will take credit cards and money at the door. So people who just want to show up or found out the last minute can come. We did a mail out of past and current NWTF members here in Bay County and surrounding. That was kind of a reminder or a notification. I've already got a phone call from a man who received one of those that plans on coming from, he was in Southport.
Okay.
And so we're trying to, we're getting down to the wire as far as, but the more the merrier as far as we're concerned. It is a membership booster, but it's also a good time.
Well, you get to be around people who have the same interests. They're
Right.
all liking the same thing. In the stores, you can get to tell and talking and all this, and it's fun to have that camaraderie.
And the whole purpose of this is because we all enjoy hunting wild turkeys, seeing wild turkeys, knowing that we've got places that they're still, one of the most magnificent game birds in North America, and that's what it's all about.
And Stan and Kim, we all know that there's an element of people out there that don't want us to do any kind of hunting at all. And that just even puts more value on bonding together with fellow hunters. And it don't necessarily be turkey hunting, it could be Ducks Unlimited or Big Buck Masters, but as hunters, we have to bond together, and because there's so many good things come from this.
Exactly. You're exactly right.
There are people out there that just don't want us to do anything like that.
Yeah, hunting's under attack, and all you have to do is look at the news or go online. But this is a great program, and good things will come out of this.
Yeah. What now? Who did you say is going to be doing the cooking? We've got
A guy named Tom Jenkins.
Okay.
He's got a couple restaurants in town, and he actually catered my retirement party.
Oh, that was some good food.
And the food was good, so
It was excellent.
we got back with him, and he is, matter of fact, we're going to go meet with him this morning. So we're going to have brisket, and chicken and 2 or 3 sides. It'll be a good night.
All right. We're going to take a final break and come back for our last segment here. All right, welcome back. Now, let's look at fishing game times right now. We've got brought to us by Mark Coward of Counts Real Estate, looking at 402 to 602 this morning. We're looking at 423 to 623. Okay, those are our 2 times today. And brought to us, like I say, by Mark Coward. Got a picture here, and I'm going to use Stan. I just set it up here. And we're going to identify, because this is Chad Miller sent me this picture, and I wasn't quite sure what it was. And Ken and I have been looking at it, and Stan identified it. Chad Miller sent it to. He's fishing down around the Dead Lakes. He said, "Hey, Coach, can you help me identify this fish?" And Stan, what do you think?
It's a yellow perch. There's no question. That's what it is. They're more of a cold water fish. Now, I'm not a fisheries biologist, and I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn, but I know from dealing with Chris Paxton and some of the fisheries people, we've had a number of people that have caught yellow perch in the Dead Lakes area, the Chipola River area, and they've been, you know, when I was working, they'd walk in the door with this fish in a bucket and say, "What is this thing?" You know. But they're more prevalent in cold water in the northern United States, but we do have fish down there, and every year people catch them. And they've also caught them up near the Jim Woodruff Dam. They've come,
Okay.
I think they're in the Flint River. They've come down that river system.
Okay, so that's what happened.
Yeah.
And I got a question the other day. Why don't we have smallmouth bass here? The water's just not cold enough, is it? It's just smallmouth bass, basically. What do you think?
I'm going to defer to somebody that
I'm gonna
knows
get Jeff
a whole
to come on
lot
the show.
more. We need
I'm
to
gonna
get a
get Jeff to come on
fisheries
pretty soon.
Not
biologist.
to me.
Yeah,
Speaking of FWC, Ken, we got a few minutes left. I know we had an unfortunate incident with an officer recently, and I know you've talked to him and all. You want to give us an update for our viewers?
Yeah,
a lot of people ask about
be
it.
happy to. I was able to talk with Officer Brady just a couple of days ago, and so I got the status of David from David. So the man, you know, he used to work for me when he was one of mine. He's one of my boys,
Mm-hmm.
and not only was I upset, I was mad that day that happened, and it was an awful deal. But I can tell you, in talking to him, he's recovered almost to the point of returning to work. He hasn't been cleared by the doctor yet, but he told me he was going stir crazy at home and he was ready to get back to work, which is a great thing.
Mm-hmm.
He went through quite an ordeal on the water that day. It's almost like a script from a movie when you hear about what happened and how it happened. And it goes to show you that I know years ago throughout my career, when you walk into a place and you see people and they say, "Well, why do y'all carry a gun? Why do y'all have guns?" That's exactly why we have guns, is what happened here. When you're performing law enforcement duties anywhere, and you're sworn to uphold, you're subject to being attacked, as he was.
And I know in this incident too, you get a lot of non-facts. A lot of people, you got people saying this and that, and one of the things I learned this morning, he didn't necessarily did not get on the boat. He was actually,
from what I understand, he was in his boat when it
his boat.
started.
Okay.
He was just dealing with him as a normal check, if you will. But
And Winston, if I could say too, the Bay County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff McKeithen, we've got a great sheriff. The Panama City Police Department, Chief Irvin, the Highway Patrol, who am I forgetting?
Parker was there.
Parker Police Department. I don't know how many. We actually, as an agency, of course, we're retired now. They had a training module going on out here at the range.
Wow.
And so those officers many of those officers were able to divert from training and go and help in this. So they were able to be on site in just a few minutes. And anyway.
Well, and speaking of training, to show what a great training the agency has for him to respond to that situation, able to shoot his weapon from the water and all that. That's great training. He just don't do that naturally.
He reloaded. He was treading water when he was returning fire. He was able to reload and shoot one-handed while trying to tread water with the other hand and his feet, wearing all the gear that we have and that we wear. His life jacket, he told me on the phone, was deflated from a bullet. So his life jacket deflated when it went off, because we wear automatic ones. And he went through an ordeal, I'm here to tell you. And he fought through it, and he survived, and he was a true warrior in my mind, and I'm very proud of him.
And you say, a lot of times I've heard this before, when that bullet hits that vest and all, it still bruises you really bad. And all
You got to remember, that bullet is designed to catch. It's like a catcher's mitt, you know, but all that force and blunt trauma is going to bruise. And we saw a picture of his wound and from the localized trauma that it had, but if it had penetrated his body, it wouldn't have been a good thing.
Yeah.
That vest did its job, and I'm proud that he was wearing it that day.
And you just never know what to expect. Who would have, nobody got up that morning would have expected something like that. And you just never know what to expect, I guess, in that situation.
That's every day you go to work.
And officers, they have really in the last few years, they've stepped up training in my estimation, and from seeing, and the training is more modern, it's more progressive what officers face today, both male and female officers, and everybody goes through the same thing.
Reality-based.
Reality-based training where you're in situations and you've got to make, the training they have now is you've got to make an instantaneous decision about what you're going to do, whether to fire, not fire, whether to retreat, to get behind cover. And so they put officers kind of through the gristmill, so to speak, and they reinforce this. And, as Sheriff McKeithen said, not only training, but I think, a higher power is the reason David's alive today.
Yeah, we're so thankful of that too. Okay, wrapping things up, next Friday night we're going to be at downtown First Methodist Church.
6 o'clock, going to start eating at 7. As soon as we're done eating, the auction will begin. We'll be taking money and using credit cards at the door.
Okay.
Our phone numbers were on the poster, or get in touch with any of us.
Ken or I, either one, and we will get them a ticket. We'd love to hear from them, hopefully in advance if we can, so we can make sure we have sufficient number of meals available for everybody that attends.
Sounds good. Y'all do that now. This is going to be a great cause. I've got to wrap it up. Y'all do something good for your fellow man. You have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.